Hello everyone. I finally got to the to transcribing the videos that some of you have been waiting for. um, it's the sessions that I had in Russian in like several weeks ago, where she went into the times of ancient Egypt, where she was training in the schools there, and then she also was having private meetings with other women and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So there are like different things, that were going on in the session where she kept going back and forth between those timelines, between like, being trained in schools and like being having private meetings with Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So I actually, it was a very long session. It was like an hour long, I think, that I posted in Russian. So I have like 3 pages to transcribe from Russian into English. And yeah, so far I looked into the software to do that, and I couldn't find anything that was, where it would be done like automatically the way you can do it in English. So I don't know, but hopefully I'll find something where it's gonna be easier, because I feel like this information will be important to share in both languages. So those of you who watch other sessions, with other people and are interested in the regression work can access this information as well. So I'm gonna be kind of like reading things off of here, as well as just talking about it. I'm not good, by the way, in like telling a story from a paper. That was my struggle when I was in school all the time. Like I tend to read more than just talk. So if I, do that, then you know why. It's just my habit that I've had since I was in school. And also, if you hear a dog snoring, he's sleeping nearby too, so you might hear him. So okay, the first scene that this client went to, she was sitting outside. It was like this big long wooden table, and she was sitting at the table. She was like 24 years old there. She was sitting at that table with other men and women, and it was like a community. That's what it felt like to her. She felt that there was a sense of belonging there, and like it felt really good. She could see, the stars. It was like supper time, and it was the most important meal for the day, where everybody was done with whatever they were, doing during the day, and everybody was coming together to talk and like to have fun. They were laughing and like having a good time. There's a stove behind the table that was used to cook food, and they were cooking vegetables there. Um, she said that was her tribe, basically. Just gonna read to see if I missed anything. Okay, so she said they were wearing very simple clothes. It was either cotton or linen, and a lot of people had necklaces around their neck, and they were crystal necklaces. Man had very long hair, kind of, long hair and a beard, and women covered their heads with a scarf, but they were like those colored, beautiful scarves, and she said they used them, to protect the head from the sun, and also because the scarf was adding beauty to the physical appearance. So she was 24 years old there, but she said even though her body was very young, she felt really old. So she knew already that she was a very old soul. And she had 6 or 7 bracelets on her wrists. And she said she was the only one who was wearing those bracelets. And those bracelets were given to her in Egypt, in school. So when you pass another level in school there, then you're given the bracelet. Now, this information actually came out in my other session about Egypt, where another client of mine also said that they were given some kind of bracelets for their training, which is kind of nice, when you can get confirmations from different sessions, because then you know that everybody's like tapping into the same, I guess, source and the same knowledge. Um, so she said kids have been admitted to those schools since early childhood, and like 5 years of age or so, and so they would develop their abilities in those schools even further. She said she could teleport herself, she could connect, communicate using telepathy, and she also worked with the crystals. Um, she's the only one in that community, like who is sitting at the table who's got those bracelets. But she said that there are other people in other parts of the world who have similar bracelets and who went through similar training in Egypt. Um, she had a crystal around her neck that she picked when she was in one of those schools, and this crystal helps her to work with the energy. So then we moved to another scene where it was like, where she lives and like where she rests in that community, and it was a very small room. There's nothing there but like a mattress and a little chest where she kept her clothes. She said that pretty much she just sleeps and meditates in this room, and I think there's a small window there too. And everybody had their own room, but she said people don't really spend a lot of time in the rooms because they are spending a lot of time outside and sharing the spaces and stuff. She said that they don't have a lot of belongings there because again, everything is shared, and also because they don't need much at all. So then we went into another scene in that same community, and she was in the library. So they had a library with like many ancient books where people would just come and learn things there. And she said that they had books on, like, they were studying planets, crystals, and nature. And she also had a mentor there. Like, everybody had a mentor there, and she had one as well. And it was like an older person, and that person was also serving as her protector, who would like like an uncle, but at the same time he would like protect her and stuff. um, she said there are 6 students in that community at that point. So now to the times of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. So when I took her into another scene, from that same life, she went into the same kind of setting where it was 7 or 8 women cooking dinner together, and they were like in some kind of kitchen setting, but they were already in the apartment, but it was in the city. And she also had that sense of soul family, like those women were sisters to her, and she was making some kind of meal there. She said they were making meal for someone, that they were expecting someone, and then she said that they were expecting Yeshua and Mary Magdalene to come to this apartment where they would eat together and like spend some time together. So then the next part, we moved forward through that scene until something happens, and she said Yeshua was there. Everyone was really happy. She said it felt like he was her younger brother. He was 32 years old at that time. She said they were very close to each other, and they were laughing and enjoying each other's company. She said they didn't need to talk because the exchange was through energy and through like telepathy. Um, Again, very much joy. She said he's smiling and joking. He's very like, I guess, I don't know if that's the right word to use, plain person, but at the same time, he's a very complicated person. And she said he was very beautiful. He was wearing this like long shirt, almost like a dress, and then he also had a cape. So the cape would help him, it would protect him during the cold weather. but it would also serve him as a safety, when he needed to cover and hide himself so people wouldn't recognize him. He's got wavy hair and very kind eyes. His visit is somehow related to the energies that all those women carry. And it's like they're one, she said, and they're exchanging energy with each other. She said they are charging each other with this energy. She said it's almost like one complements the other. Like if someone has this type of energy and the other person has this type of energy, when they exchange and merge, together all those energies, they become one, and they kind of like again charge and complement each other, and they become like very powerful together. She said they are light, and it's important to be that light. Um, she said they are exchanging this energy and merging this energy together so they can become that beacon of light and radiate this light around, because this light helps everyone around them. She said everyone who was in the room at that time, they knew how to work with that energy. They knew how to, radiate this light, basically. Everyone in the room had a similar purpose as well. She said every woman had something that added to the collective. Um, so the metaphors that she used, it's like one carries more fire, the other more water. So they were all carrying different elements, and then when they would come together, combine the energies, they would create this one power, that was like radiating so much light around them. Um, she said they were again powerful when they were all together like that. Um, she said they didn't need to know everything because they complement each other. The knowledge was gained from the person who has it. So like if one knows one thing, the other knows another. When they combine the energies like that, there's a transfer happening. So they receive the knowledge that they did not carry. Um, she said there was one of the women there who was like very beautiful, but she was much, much older. And she said the age didn't really matter because she was just so beautiful. And, no matter the age. She said she was very delicate, like that's herself. Like she carried a very delicate energy. She said she was responsible for something beautiful. She also said that everyone in the room knew um, the mission that Yeshua carried at that time, and that he was more powerful than all of them. Like they all had that knowledge. She said, I like this part. She said he's got this energy, like diamond energy, sparkling like a diamond. He's got so much light. Um, so yeah, they all agreed to meet at this, apartment in that city. So that kind of, again, I guess confirms to what other people were perceiving Yeshua like, the light, the energy, the jokes, the joy. I mean, I know that's how, um, when he visited me, he was always like that as well. Very, like, yeah, he likes to joke a lot. So that was another confirmation for me. Um, he said he loved her and that he was really proud of her and what work she was doing and how much she achieved. And that he was happy that she was there and that they were all there together. Now, Mary Magdalene, she said, was very beautiful woman. And she was like a perfect match to him. She said she was like very feminine, like very feminine face, skin, like hands and legs. She said she had like tan skin and she looked very exotic. She said she had like very long, beautiful hair. She has like really beautiful makeup. Um, she said that she was like his other half. big eyes, small nose, very beautiful face. She said she radiated light as well, very kind and very nice, and that she was also like a sister to her. She was wearing like this white long sleeved dress, and she had like a little tiny rope, that was like around her waist, red rope that was used like as a belt basically. She also had this beautiful scarf, colorful scarf, um, and red scarf. And she said the dress looked really good on her because of her tan skin. And she was also wearing the bracelets from Egypt, so she knew that she went through the same training in Egypt as she's been to. She also said that by looking at her, like she had really beautiful, I think they were ruby necklace or turquoise or ruby necklace and matching earrings. And she said by looking at her, you could tell that she traveled a lot because she was combining, all those different attributes in her like dresses and like jewelry, and like, so it's like she was picking things and wearing them from like different cultures, where she's visited. Now, another scene she went into is that was already outside, and they were sitting on a hill. There were like rocks around them, and Yeshua was standing, and all of them were sitting on the ground, and he was talking and teaching them things. And there were like men and women there. She said like everybody enjoyed hearing him talk, and she said that he came, for another visit, and she said he was teaching them about compassion, kindness, acceptance, and love. She also said there was a man there with him who was protecting him, like, so he was basically he was there for his safety, that person. Then we went into the scenes of the Egyptian school, so we could learn how the Egyptians, were training those kids, and what the training consisted of. She said she was 5 years old when her parents brought her to the school, and she said she did not feel any sadness for being separated from her parents. She was actually really excited because she said that her parents saw that it was their choice, to enroll her in this school, but she said it was actually my own choice because I chose this before I was born into this body. So she already had that realization as a 5-year-old child, so that's why she wasn't feeling sad. And she said the temple was made of stone, wide staircase, and very, very high ceilings, and many, many rooms. She said she could see people worshiping there. Everyone was wearing white. At one point, she said someone brought in like a lot of flowers and stuff. And she said it was very beautiful and peaceful in this temple. She said it seemed like everyone knew what they were doing there. So one of the things she talked about that they were learning there is practice of teleportation, and she kept saying that it's so simple. It's like it's like, she said it's like there's nothing to learn here. It's just so simple. So basically, you have to go into the state of deep, deep meditation, which I guess some people would call a 0 point, and you have to like clear your mind, no worries, like nothing, just completely blank, state of mind, and like where your consciousness, is just blank, and then you just transport to a place where you want to be at. She said when nothing distracts us, it's very simple, and that she's done it many times. She said normally you need to go through some kind of training to learn how to do it, but she said there are kids who were very gifted and who could do it right away. So they didn't need to become a master to know how to do that. She also mentioned that like in that session right now that her and I were having, she said this is what she was doing right now. She was using teleportation to go to that past life. And she said it's like this hypnosis, it's like a similar thing, it's similar to teleportation basically. So the next thing she talked about is she said there's a higher priestess at school who was kind of like their mother. She was very kind, very wise, and like she loved them a lot, and she spent a lot of time with the kids, especially before they were going to bed or when they were going to rest. She said there are other masters who teach there as well, and all of those masters, they live on the premises as well. She said there's one particular master who taught them how to work with the water. Um, she said that all the masters loved them a lot. So the water part, which is again something similar I've heard in another session about Egypt where the other client worked with the water, but I'm gonna read it because it's very technical. So they explain to them the physical properties of the water, molecular structure, particles. Water has energy, memory, knowledge. It's all connected through physics and chemistry. It's very difficult to explain. It's very scientific and advanced information. They teach them how light connects with the air and some other elements and how those things interact with the water. Water stores information. People think it's just water, but in reality, it's not that simple. If people only knew what water was, you can do so many things with it. So, this is again very similar stuff that I've heard before in other sessions, which is really amazing. um, so, then the next part she talked about was working with the crystals. She said that they had many, many crystals and stones, in the temple, and the kids were not forced to work, with like this stone or that stone, or like let's learn the properties of rose quartz or, like black obsidian. It was not like that. She said the stones were just laying out there, and they would just pick a crystal that they were guided to work with, so she said they needed to use their intuition to connect to the crystal and see what the crystal is going to teach them. Nothing was forced onto them. She said they needed to just put their hands on the certain crystal and then listen and learn from the crystal. She said you wouldn't even call it teaching. We were just given freedom to do what we wanted. She said in that mind, in that sense, the mind was staying open. Um, they have also female masters there who's helping them to work with the crystals. She said she was very kind, and she said it was almost like a game and not even a lesson. She said this female master was not forcing them to do anything. She doesn't place any of the information onto them. She gives them freedom to do what they want. She said the crystals talk to you, so that's the secret. You just have to listen. And that you don't need to know much about the crystals. You just learn from them. You just need to be open to feel and to listen. She said the crystals are so magical. They have so much information and energy, they can heal. Um, she said her favorite crystals were the ones that were radiating light, so they were like colored ones. She did not like the black crystals at all. She also said she liked the crystals that were not polished, that were like more raw, that looked like someone just mined them and nobody has touched them yet. Which is actually how I like my crystals. I like them raw too. So then the last scene we went into was the last day of her life. She said she was older, but she was very, very healthy, and she had like long gray hair, was very feminine. Now this is a very interesting part that I know other people have talked about. was the new nurse. She said that she didn't have to die. She chose to go because it was her time. She said she's accomplished everything in that life, so it was her time to go. There is nothing else she needed to do there. She accomplished everything. She said she was perfectly healthy and she could live, longer. It's just she decided to go because it was her time. And she said her children were there with her. She said it was a very, very beautiful death. She said everyone decides when it's time for them to go. She was 67, and she said for that time it was actually considered a very long life. Now, this is a part where we asked, after, she got out of the body, what was the purpose of that life and what she was learning and all of that. And she said that they reincarnated during those times together, which means her and like those women, Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. She said they decided to do it together because it was a pivotal time for the earth, and it was a very important historic event in the earth's history. So that's why all of them chose to incarnate in that specific time, so they could fulfill their mission. She said they were like learning things on earth, but at the same time they already knew how to do like a lot of those things, like they've mastered it already. So for them, the experience was more about how they can function in the dense energies of the earth. So they were there to learn what it's like to be in that density and to have those experiences, in that dense energy. They wanted to understand it and how that works. She said they changed the energies on the earth and it was a historic moment. She said they contributed to that energy shift. And again, she said they specifically chose this time for the reincarnation. She said it was fun, that they've accomplished everything, and it was a very interesting experience, very pleasant and peaceful. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share about it, because I know this topic is very interesting for a lot of people, I think, and especially again, since this is kind of in line with other sessions that I know others had. Actually, this is my first session, I would say, with Yeshua, where the client went into the times, of Yeshua, but I know other people have had it, and but I've had like several sessions before with Egypt, so I kind of knew some of the information already. But yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to share with this one. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy it, and you will find this information helpful and very interesting. I know I was really excited when I went into those times, because I was kind of like, oh, when am I gonna have a client who's gonna go there? So that was really exciting to learn about that, and how again the information that came through, it coincides with the information that I've heard and seen from others, even like channelings, other people channeled it. So yeah, I guess let me know what you think about it. You can leave it in the comments, or you can reach out if you want. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying your day. Again, so sorry that it took me so long to post this, because it takes a lot of time to transcribe it from the Russian into English, just because there's no software to do it, or at least I'm not aware of it. And yeah, and I was like really busy with other sessions, which I'm gonna post, I think, a couple of clips from my other sessions, really short clips. And yeah, and I was like, I've been really busy the last several weeks. I don't know about you, but it's almost like today is actually my first day where I have like time for myself, and it's raining, so I can't get outside. So this is like perfect to catch up on the videos and the stuff that I've been wanting to do. So yeah, I love you all, and hope you are having a really good day. Bye.